What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Equalize Espresso, and welcome back to another video here today on the channel. In this one, we're talking about something that I saw over on Reddit, and it's an absolutely mind-blowing theory, I think, here with this, and it really might explain fully the ending of Revelations and what we didn't know at the time, but now do at this specific moment. So in this one, we're going to be discussing what may be the real ending, the true ending to Revelations and Black Ops 3 Zombies. So with that said, before we get into it, a huge shout out to Eon935 and Party at the Ocean for their contributions here within this. It's honestly an absolutely insane theory, but it makes so much sense, and it might be just right under our noses this whole time, and especially now with the canon imagery being revealed and we have a lot more details to the actual storyline. So enough babbling on about how cool this is, let's talk about it in specifics. So the Revelations ending has, according to the canon, two possible endings. Either one, the cycle continues with the principal cycle, that being World at War to Black Ops 1, and it says that in the beginning there was only the Aether and the Keepers. Among them were two beings who would later be known by many names. One would be known as Dr. Monty, the other as the Shadow Man. And then one of the other options was Dimension 63, which is Origins to Black Ops 3. Dimension 63 is described as starting at January 15th, 1292, the Great War between humanity and the Apothicans begins. So we know full well that Monty wants to control all of this. We know that he's this all-powerful being at the end of the Revelation storyline, and we know that he wants to keep all his power, and thus he must create the cycle over again to retain his power. So we can restart the cycle theoretically from one of the Revelations endings that are denoted by canon, and those that are presented both represent and fit Monty's plan perfectly. But with a perfect out for a situation of, well, I don't like either of these options type scenario, there's actually a third ending planted right under our noses, and it all stems from Revelations and the ending cutscene. Previously, we had thought the ending of Revelations with Primus standing on the rock, we thought this was a recreation and a final envisionment of Primus from the image that was gathered from Origins and Black Ops 2. For those that don't remember how this image came to be, it was scraps of paper around Origins that you could find, and then once collected, people pieced it together and got the image of Primus that we know as of today to be the exact image that we've seen so many times. However, it's not actually the same. There are no soldiers, there is no tomb. The Revelations cutscene is not the same as the Primus image. It's an entirely different universe. So a third ending, if you want to put it that way. In the Revelations cutscene, the tomb that is built does not follow either of the timelines for our cycles. And we can see this clearly by some of the timeline imagery from the canon that was just released a couple of days ago. On June 4th of 1300 in northern France, a tomb is constructed to honor the fallen soldiers of the Great War. Within it, statues of Primus are constructed to symbolize the hope that if one day a great evil falls upon mankind, they may return. But on January 1st, 1300, 6 months before the tomb was constructed, it said, before they seemingly disappear from history, Primus instructs the Wolf King to begin building Der Eisendrache. So the question falls upon the idea of time. How is the tomb already there if they did not disappear? It's because there's another dimension, another reality, a third ending and an out we didn't necessarily have to ourselves at the time of Revelations. Richtofen realized Monty's plan and thus created a new cycle. Primus can then decide what will happen before the cycle repeats itself. Thus, the end of Revelations is the beginning of Richtofen's plan to secure a better tomorrow in which Monty does not have control and in which he does not, air quote, win. So, what is perhaps the most brilliant of foreshadowing and of this explanation comes back whenever the ending cutscene was accomplished for Revelations. This was seen on a more vague stance that we really had no introduction to at the time and at the end of this, but when the ending cutscene happens, we see the in-game interpretation of Primus fade to the Origins imagery that we found in Black Ops 2. And when it finally ends, the image burns away to reveal the next "The End" text. So at that point, everybody kind of just assumed that the cycle restarted and then we just had this never-ending cycle, and the end kind of just capped off the zombie storyline that we knew at that point. But the brilliance of this is that it's not actually the end of a zombie story per se, but it's the end of Universe 63. The universe that we've known from Origins to Black Ops 3, the end does not signify the end of our story, but the end of the universe within it. So the imagery found from Origins is essentially the figurative whole of Universe 63. So when that burns away to reveal the end at the end of the Revelations cutscene, it's essentially burning up and ending the entire Universe 63. So with the universe now gone, our attention may very well shift to this new universe in which Primus has a paradoxical existence, something outside of the realms of what we knew of the multiverse, a new universe entirely in which they can ultimately defeat Monty. And that paradox is exactly what the Revelations ending in the story canon describes. Primus has consumed the blood of souls from dimensions that no longer exist. The paradox must be resolved. So perhaps in a Black Ops 4 or whatever the next game Treyarch produces, this may resolve this paradox and then pits R4 against Monty directly. And to me, this just answers so many questions that I think is just the perfect way to end this, because why introduce somebody that is such a main character like Monty in the DLC before the final chapter of Black Ops 3 if he's going to be the end of the storyline here? That's very uncharacteristic of Treyarch to introduce such a major character with only real one chapter to give him any story, any sort of life itself. Instead, it's a rather brilliant interlude between Black Ops 3 and the next title, and perhaps the zombie story that follows thereafter. He's the next main character that is introduced and the next main villain, if you want to put it that way, for our main characters to go up against. And also, while it may bracket off some of these stories like Jason Blundell has mentioned from World at War all the way up to Black Ops 3, it then also just once again acts as an interlude into the next chapter of Zombies, because we know Zombies isn't going anywhere based off of everything we've seen in the years previous and just how much of an incredible story it's built up thus far. This isn't the end, it's just another beginning. So with that said, I'm gonna leave you here with that. I'm gonna let it be at that point. Let me just think down there in the comment section down below about this theory. I thought this was actually pretty mind-blowing. I thought it was something that was absolutely incredible to think about, and it makes so much sense when you really do think about it. Perhaps it's wrong, perhaps it's right. I guess we'll never really know, or at least we won't know until 2018 and the reveal of Zombies up in the next Treyarch title, but it sure is some food for thought here that I think is absolutely worth the read into. So all that said and out of the way, once again, drop your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. Do you guys agree with this? Do you follow it even? And if so, what do you think about it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Whatever it may be, feel free to drop it down there. Once again, a huge shout out to Eon935 and Party at the Ocean for their discussion on this, because it seriously was mind-boggling to me to think about, and it makes just, once again, so much sense. But all that said, if you guys did enjoy the video, drop a like down below. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe to stay up to date with everything Zombies Chronicles DLC 5 and everything like that here up on the channel. Tomorrow's the big day, so I'm pretty excited to see what else there is revealed to us here in terms of the live stream that officially happens with this. I'm excited to see Moon and the other gameplay of the maps coming from other Zombies YouTubers, and of course we'll be keeping you guys up to date with everything you need to know here on this. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a beat. And finally, if you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, that is the best place to get connected with me here outside of YouTube, but practically live on Twitter. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, link is down there in the description below. But I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Nikolai Espresso. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. Take care and peace.